gathered here today to talk about and discuss each other's stances over the book Anthem. Today we will be debating collectivism and the different effects it has on a society. Collectivism is the practice or principle of giving a group priority over each individual in it. The theory and practice of the ownership of land and the means of production by the people or the state. The highly controlled collectivist society in the book is one that could be compared similar to a communist government that we see today. Each group member is going to be answering and telling their feelings over the questions pertaining to the book. Before we will begin, we will introduce ourselves. I'm Jordan Price.
I'm Matt Eads.
I'm Amber Mays. I'm Ashlyn Byers.
Brandon Cacker.
Faith Kennedy.
Whitney Waiku.
Ashley Waldorf. Alright, so first things first. What aspects of the collectivist society from the book Anthem would you change? What would you keep?
For me, I said that the anthem was like harsh, but there are benefits to it, like them being created equal. The thing that would change is how cruel the punishments are and also how strict the laws are.
So you agree with having like an equal society? You think that everybody's rights should be similar?
Yes, I should, but they should also like have some freedom because like not everyone's the same person.
Does anybody have anything else to add?
I think it takes less stress off the person to say like, you're having this job, you're like going with this person, you're having this kid, but then again, it gives you like no freedom as a person, you can't be different from anyone else.
I don't think it's fair to be told like what your name is, like you're not any better than anybody else, and like you have no like higher opportunity than anybody else. I don't think that's okay. I wouldn't want that.
And I also think that everyone should be who they want to be and not be told where that they should be, what their job should be.
So more so we're leaning to the fact that you should be able to be your own self, you should be able to become whoever you want to become,
Yeah.
and no one should tell you who you are, what your job should be.
We'll be with.
We mostly agree with that, or does anybody else have any different opinion?
I just want to add that I feel like the laws were too strict and the government brainwashed people when their main goal was to to prove that like everyone was equal. So instead of like having all these ridiculous laws, the main law should just be that everyone is equal. Instead of like if they preach like all these other laws, why is it so hard for them to say like everyone's equal?
Okay.
I think it was a little extreme to not be able to say like I or like me, like anything that's having to do with like yourself.
Right, okay. Do you think the society or form of government used in the book is effective?
I think it's effective to a point, like it got people, I don't know, like, it got people to follow by the rules, like no one said I because they know that they'll be like burned in front of the whole town. Like the extreme like laws made them like follow them, like the extreme punishments made them follow the laws.
Do you think anything, Matt?
It was almost like a scare tactic, almost. Like it was way overboard for some, like their government or whatever, to do that, you know. Just too much.
Or like how they said like the uncharted forest was like this scary place, even though it actually really wasn't. Because they said there was like monsters and beasts in there, but like it really wasn't.
I feel like it was effective, but there were other ways to go about it to make it effective. So if they weren't like ridiculous laws, then I feel like it would still be.
So you think the laws were taken too far then?
Yes.
Yeah.
I also kind of think that even though they were like assigned jobs and whatnot, they kind of kept their society kind of like flat leveled, like kind of kept it steady, never really improving, which could be a like a good change, making sure that everything does get done and making sure how the society is run to an extent.
Alright. Okay, so should the betterment of a whole group trump the rights of an individual? So in other words, should you have your rights taken away in order to have an equal whole group of people?
No.
Definitely not.
I think if the individual has to come before the group at some point because it causes rebellion, like we like saw in the book. People want to be different than others, so that causes them to rebel.
Do you have anything to add, Ashley? Anybody else?
No.
Well, okay, like if you break it down to like a smaller scale, like in families and stuff, like you work to support your family, so like your job benefits the family, and then like if you put it into a larger scale, then like you work to pay taxes
individual, question or resist government or society.
I think that's when you take away their individual rights.
When they're forced to do something they shouldn't be.
I think that going off of that is when they turn 18 that they just get positioned to like a random man so that they can have like their babies.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not fair.
Like not even like
They
being
don't have
able
like a choice of who they want to be with. They don't even get to be.
they didn't even get to choose their own name, like I feel like you couldn't even become like your own person.
Or like even this job, cause like you'd be doing it for a job that you hate for the rest of your life. I
Or
don't think
even
that's
like
fair.
Yeah.
So now is anyone in opposition, do they think that maybe it's easier to, you know, be given a name, be given a position at life and it is smoothly ran, like everybody gets the same
I feel like it'd
equal
take a lot of stress
opportunity?
off like your shoulders, like you're just told what to
Yeah.
do, so you don't have to make any decisions by yourself.
But then again, it will cause you to end up being miserable and
Yeah.
that's not what you want.
Right.
Cause it's like not really your.
Or like when you get a job, just like how Ollie did, like he got like a street sweeper, but then again, he knew that he could be like with the scholars.
So you think there was a point where it was too controlled then?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else to add for that one?
No.
Alright, so how did people come to have different views of a society, of what a society should look like?
I mean, we all kind of agreed on the same thing, so I don't know.
So what we're going with for this group is that we think that we should have more of an individual right, like you should be able to choose who you can become, everybody gets an equal opportunity. Is that what we're going with?
Yes.
More so? Okay, so no communism type government,
No.
basically. Alright, so,
I don't think there should just be like one leader or like just like like a few select people that should run everything else. Like they can all start off with the same like equal like benefit, like you can do whatever you want.
I don't have words.
Like everybody has an equal opportunity, but it's just like what you do with it, it can be different.
I wish for freedom, but I think that there should be like laws like we have, you know, to like still be able to be your own person, do what you want to do, just as long as you're not like hurting anybody else or
Yeah.
whatever.
Not such like strict like
Yeah,
the
sure.
Yeah.
or like the punishment.
Right.
okay, so is that all, or do you guys have anything else you wanna add?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Anthem had a society in which collectivism was their way of life. No one had an individual rights or any freedoms. Everyone was equal and had the same opportunity at life. Our group discussion was negative towards this idea of government that took place in the book Anthem. We didn't agree with the scare tactics that were involved. The laws were taken too far. No one had individual rights, and you were forced to do things that you didn't want to do. Now you can get a better idea of how we viewed the reading over the book Anthem. That there concludes our conversation. Thank you for listening.